Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am back because apparently so's COVID. Guess who's back again. COVID's back. Tell a friend. Maybe don't tell your friends, because then that's against social distancing. I made a video back in November 2020 about my experiences testing positive with coronavirus. It has been a hot minute since I've checked in with you guys, so this is going to be partly a life update video slash COVID round 2. If you guys want to see what's been up, then keep on watching. So not exactly the reintroduction I was expecting. I have tested positive again with coronavirus for a second time. I'm actually in day 5 of my 5-day quarantine, and I get to bust out of this joint tomorrow. I think my experiences with COVID were much better this time around because, admittedly, I am vaccinated. I have the Pfizer vaccine. I am also boosted, and I also got my flu shot this year, which I usually do every year. A couple things I did want to discuss just because it is still very important. We are still living in a pandemic 3 years later. It's season 3 of the pandemic, right? We can officially say it's season 3 because 2020, 2021. Yeah, it's season 3. Think about in retrospect, season 3s of shows always get buck wild. Case in point, Game of Thrones. I only say this because I'm rewatching Thrones because I've got nothing better to do in quarantine. Can we just, no, I don't want to have a red wedding in real life. I had honestly been sick since the end of November. I really hadn't been posting a lot on social media just because I've been busy with school, work, the whole kit and caboodle. The end of November, I was able to get a quick little getaway in with Morrissey, and we ended up going to Phoenix, Arizona. The original plan was to go to Iceland, but that clearly fell through when the CDC, 2 weeks before our trip, said, we're putting Iceland back on level 4. Trying to put the kibosh on that real quick. Phoenix was awesome. I wrote a travel guide for what we did while we were there, and I will link that down below for you guys. I didn't do a lot of vlogging or really any sort of documentation while we were gone because I was sick the entire time we were gone. Realistically, and I'm gonna be totally transparent, and I know people are gonna get pissed at me when I say all this and put the timeline into perspective because I did this with the last COVID video. The morning before I left to go to New York City for a couple of days and then to Phoenix, I woke up sicker than a dog. I just felt really run down. I just felt like I came down with a seasonal cold. Went down to New York City. We actually caught a show at the Paramount to see Ice Nine Kills, which is one of my favorite bands. Phenomenal show, and if you can ever see them live, highly recommend. We went to the Garden for a game on Wednesday. We left for Phoenix on Thursday. I felt nothing more than just a head cold. While I was in Phoenix, I lost my voice, had the sniffles really bad. I had really bad sinus headaches, to the point my sinuses were really puffy, my ears were plugged. I had shit gooping out of my eyeball. It was bad. 100% should have never gone on the trip. So through my job, we have a telemed option through our insurance. I called them while I was on vacation, explained to them. The guy was like, yep, I'm just gonna prescribe you ear drops for your sinuses to unplug you and some eye drops for you. And they were at no point concerned for me to go get a COVID test, so I didn't. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I really, as an adult, realizing what it very well could have been, I probably shouldn't have gone, but I did. So she didn't get sick until the very tail end of the trip, until sickness and health. I guess that's the price you pay when you're best friends with me. The night coming home was literally the worst night ever because my flight from JFK to Syracuse, which was a 45-minute flight, was delayed by 4.5 hours. I did not get home until 4 o'clock in the morning. My flight was at 9 p.m. that night. And I had to drive home in the middle of a snow squall. And if you know what those are, I'm pretty sure I saw God that night. I spent literally the next 3 days just in bed. I didn't have a voice for a good week and a half, 2 weeks after the fact. Outside of just the raspiness of my voice, the stuffy nose had gone away, the sore throat had gone away. I just sounded gross. This is to when I was diagnosed with COVID. So after the new year, that Monday, like everybody else in the world, start going to the gym. Because New York State is still requiring masks for all indoor facilities regardless of vaccination status. You had to wear a mask at the gym. I had just one of the regular disposable blue masks. I did my workout. Totally crushed leg day, by the way. Felt great. I felt fantastic after my workout, but I lost my voice to the point I just listen.
First workout of 2022 in the books, and I think we're back to square one because I feel great. I fucking crushed leg day, which I'll post my results after the fact, but whatever I had going on in my chest is still there.
I lost my voice from going to the gym. So my first thought immediately after losing my voice was maybe I still had that shit lingering around in my lungs. Wearing the mask kind of made it so it it was like filtered and I was like catching it. And like, I don't know, in my head, I never once thought COVID, because after doing plenty of research of being sick while on vacation, I went to WebMD and nowhere did it say that like losing your voice or laryngitis was a side effect of COVID. Yeah, you have the cough and the stuffy nose and you have all that stuff, but never anywhere anyone mentioned losing your voice. That Tuesday, I woke up, still didn't have a voice. So I called out of work. I made the mistake of saying that I had a migraine, which was not true. It was not true. Sorry to the gentleman in the room. But again, this time when I had COVID, I was also the week before and the week of my period. And with my periods, I do occasionally get migraines. So I wasn't far-fetched to say that I had a migraine, but realistically, I did not have a migraine. I had no voice and I didn't want to hear it from everybody at work. So I was like, you know what? Just going to take the high road. I'm going to say that I have a migraine. I'm going to stay home today, which was the worst idea I could have had. I definitely did not read the new Omicron's like symptoms, and number one being a migraine. I tell my boss, hey, I'm not going to be in today. I got a migraine. And he was like, oh no. One of our other coworkers had called in saying that she had a really bad cough and like she had a headache. So she was going to go get tested. Outside of just not having a speaking voice and sounding like a teenage boy whose balls are about to drop, I was totally fine. Come to find out, my coworker tested positive. I guess her backstory was that she was around family members around the holidays, somebody was exposed, and then they exposed everybody. So that's how she thinks she got hers. I go and I get tested at 2 different testing facilities. One was the cheek swab. The rapid test was still the nasal swab. I'm pretty sure I fluffed up both those tests. The girl told me for the cheek swab test, 10 on this side, 10 on this side. Well, when I went to go move to the other side, I definitely like licked it like a lollipop, just like, I'm sure it didn't affect my test results, but like when I did it, I was like, oh, fuck, I definitely messed that up. I go to the second testing site thinking that I might get an actual rapid response sooner. When I got there, the kid told me that their systems were down. It would be like 24 hours I would get my results. I was like, whatever, I'm here, that's fine. He had me do the nasal swab and he goes, you don't have to go that far in. And I'm like, prior to him giving me the test, he hands it to me. The test itself is like, I don't know, like yay big. And he hands it to me in a very bizarre way where like he's got his hand on the bottom of the test. I can only grab like the tippy top of it. I don't even know if this is going to be an accurate reading. I'm looking at him as I'm doing it like, And he's like, there's fine, ma'am. Just swap your nose. I recall from the last time I had to get tested, it was a full-on lobotomy where like you were scraping like my skull from my brain. Unnecessarily high it had to go up. That Thursday morning, prior to me getting my results, I was so stuffy. My throat was really raspy. I was coughing. Like a really productive cough, but I wasn't coughing anything up. Get my results and I'm like, well, at least I can say that it was COVID. Saturday felt okay, Sunday felt okay, Monday, Tuesday, which is today's the last day of my quarantine, and I feel great. Outside of the raspiness, but I really just think that raspiness is just a part of my identity now. So the second time around with COVID, I never lost my smell or taste. I never really had like the diarrhea or the upset stomach, the fevers, the aches, the chills, none of that. This quarantine has been much more enjoyable than the last one. Done projects around the house of like cleaning my closet, revamping my resume, like, you know, little things that I've been thinking about that I've been needing to do and I just haven't done. As for the rest of my family, my mom currently tested positive. My grandmother, who is very autoimmune compromised, a walking health time bomb, she somehow tested negative in all of this. And my dad currently, we think has it, but he hasn't been tested. And, but he is not feeling like that hot. The same thing with the last time that I was quarantining. If I ever left my bedroom, I always had a mask on. Maybe not as cautious with like the Clorox wipes or everything. Truthfully, I would have never even gotten tested because I never thought at any point in time I needed to. My boss highly recommended that I did get tested. Otherwise, I probably would have gone on my merry way. I know that is super negligent to think in a pandemic. I'm sitting here saying like, oh, COVID wasn't that bad because of X, Y, and Z. But then I'm also sitting here saying I'm pissed because like I got my vaccine, right? I got my flu shot. I got my booster. I take a multivitamin every day. I take probiotics. I take vitamin C. I take vitamin D because like I'm like a pathetic little houseplant who doesn't get enough sunlight. Like I take all of this medication that like is supposed to be for wellness and like health and like immunity, and my ass still got sick. So you're damned if you do, damned if you don't, I guess. Everybody, and I mean literally everybody that I know right now, is like playing this like weird game of like musical chairs. Like people are dropping like flies. And I say dropping like flies, I don't mean like they're dying. I mean like that they're getting Omicron or they're getting COVID, whether it be COVID, Delta, Omicron, Megalodon, I don't know. I got vaccinated for the wrong reasons. However, I'm very thankful that I got vaccinated for the wrong reasons because I think it helped me in the long run. Did it solely that I could travel. I did it solely so I can go to concerts, go to events, go to games, X, Y, and Z. I did it wholeheartedly because I wanted to go and live life as close to normalcy as I could. I could give two shits if you're vaccinated or not. I've done everything that I can to protect myself, to protect my family, to protect my neighbor, so on and so forth. I made that choice for me, selfishly. I had no intention of getting the vaccine to protect my grandmother, who I've said is severely autoimmune compromised. I didn't do it for her, and I admit that to her. That, like, I did it wholeheartedly for my well-being. If we're not gonna do the things to protect ourselves, like, if you haven't gotten vaccinated already, the chances of you doing so are very slim to none without, like, legal precautions. Like, you'll go to jail or something. I mean, maybe they can, I don't know. I didn't read up that part on the law. Year 3 into a pandemic, I'm tired of it. I think a lot of us are too. And I think that's a lot of the reason why, like, I just don't feel like I do a lot of videos anymore, simply because, like, I'm tired, man. Feeling the burnout constantly. Like, I've been sitting here wanting to make videos, wanting to make content, and by the end of the day, I'm just like, I'm so mentally tapped that, like, I can't. And I'm gonna admit to you, I'm probably not. I'll probably check in when I can check in. I am really proud of the person that I am on this platform. I feel like that I've grown my audience and grown my channel into like who I am as authentically as I can be. I sit here and think of all these great ideas that I want to have for the website, whether taking it into blogging and doing like an influencer thing or just keeping it 100 and sitting here talking shit. Even like sitting here talking to you guys for the last like 20 minutes, I've realized how much I miss that. And where a lot of my personality can like come through, and I want to keep doing it, but I can't be realistic and say, yeah, I'm going to post new videos every week, because every week it varies. Be sure to follow me on all my socials if you want to keep up with me. And yeah, with that said, I'm going to go continue watching Game of Thrones just to make my life even more miserable. I'll talk to you guys later. Take care. Stay well. Love you always. And until next time, we'll see you guys later. Bye. Ooh, maybe we're not going to kiss goodbye because, like, COVID germs. It doesn't feel right. I got it. That's close enough. It's been a minute since I've actually sat in this setup. That's my butt. If you're not going to get vaccinated, at what point does the government have the right to say that, like, it's the government coming in my window? The pneumonia? Pneumonia. Watch the thumbnail be it's like social distance. It's so hot. Why am I out of breath? There's so many problems. Have you missed my bloops?